Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome. I welcome you all to this lecture in the course Sandhi in Paninian Grammar. So far we have studied extensively Hal Sandhi or the consonant Sandhi. Hal Sandhi is the Sandhi which comes in place of a Hal. Hal is a consonant. And we have studied several types of and instances of Hal Sandhi so far. At the end, let us take a recap of all different varieties of Hal Sandhi that we have studied so far. First, we said that broadly Hal Sandhi can be divided into two, Ekasthanika Ekadesha and Ekasthanika Dvyadesha. In contrast with the Ach Sandhi, where you also have Ekasthanika Ekadesha, the difference is Ekasthanika Dvyadesha. In the Ach Sandhi, it is Dvisthanika Ekadesha, which is stated also as an adhikara, and we also studied 5 instances of Dvisthanika Ekadesha of Ach Sandhi, namely Guna Sandhi, Vriddhi Sandhi, Pararupa Sandhi, Savarna Dirgha Sandhi, and also finally Purvarupa Sandhi. In Hal Sandhi, however, we have Ekasthanika Dvyadesha, where there is one substituent which is substituted or replaced by 2 substitutes, Ekasthanika Dvyadesha. Ekasthanika Ekadesha is further classified into 2 broad categories, Purvanimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha and also Paranimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha. This categorization was explicitly mentioned in order to account for a unique use of the instrumental case, which by contrast once again does not occur in the Ach Sandhi chapter. Purvanimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha is represented in the form of a diagram in this way. So there is B followed by A, both of them are in the Samhita mode, and so B is the nimitta, which is Purva, and then A gets substituted by C. So B is Purva nimitta, A is Ekasthani and C is Eka Adesha. So C is Purva Nimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha. So B plus A is the input and B plus C is the output. We studied 2 instances of this Purva Nimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha, and this depended upon the meaning of the instrumental case which was used in the sutras which described Shchutva Sandhi and also Shtutva Sandhi. So the sutras were Stoho Shchunashchuhu and Shtunashtuhu. So Shchuna and Shtuna indicated that Shchu and Tu could be the Purva Nimittas as well as the Paranimittas. And so Shchutva Sandhi was studied in these two manners, Purvanimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha and also Paranimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha. So two instances were studied as far as Purvanimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha is concerned, namely Shtutva Sandhi and Shtutva Sandhi. Then comes Paranimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha. This can be represented diagrammatically in the following way, where you have A plus B in close proximity in the Samhita mode, B comes immediately after A, and in the environment of B, A gets substituted by C. This B is Para and this is Sthani, this is Adesha. So, this Adesha C can be described in the following manner. Para, that is B Nimittaka, A, that is Eka Sthanika, and C, that is Eka Adesha. B is the environment, A is the substituent, and C is the substitute. So, this is Paranimittaka, Eka Sthanika, Eka Adesha. A plus B is the input and C plus B is the output. And here once again we studied these instances of Paranimittaka Ekasthanika Ekadesha in detail. Shtutva Sandhi, once again, Shtutva Sandhi also. Then we studied Anuswara Sandhi as well as Parasavarna Sandhi, then Purva Savarna Sandhi, then Anunasika Sandhi, and finally Chatva Sandhi. Then we studied Ekasthanika Dvyadesha, where one substituent is replaced by two substitutes, where we have A plus B as the environment. They are in the Samhita mode, B follows A, and in the environment of B, this A is substituted by two elements, namely A and X. So, this is one substituent replaced by two substitutes. And there are three instances of Ekasthanika Dvyadesha. First, Sattva Anuswara Sandhi, second, Dvirvachana Sandhi, and third, Agama Sandhi. We dealt with Dvirvachana Sandhi first and Agama Sandhi then, and finally in the previous lecture we also studied the Sattva Anuswara Sandhi. Where we have seen that one substituent gets replaced by two substitutes. In case of Agamas, we applied the principle that Anagamakas are the substituents and Sagamaka Shabdas are the substitutes. Anagamakanam Sagamaka Adeshaha. There are some other sandhis that are worth mention, namely Kutva Sandhi, Jashtva Sandhi and Chartva Sandhi as well. Let us study them in brief in this particular lecture. First, let us study the Kutva Sandhi. This is stated by the Sutra Chokkuhu 8-30. This sutra has got two padas, Choho and Kuhu. Choho is 6/1 of Chu. Chu is Chavarga, which consists of Ch, Ch, J, Jh and Y. Choho therefore means in place of Chu. And Kuhu is 1/1 of Ku. Ku means Kavarga, means Ka, Kha, Ga, Gha and Ng. So, Ku is the substitute. The words continued from the previous sutras are Jhali, 7/1 of Jhal, and this means immediately before. Jhal also means all consonants minus semi-vowels, Yavarala, and nasals, Yamangana, Na. Ha is included in the final sutra and part of Jhal, so Ha is obviously a part of Jhal. Padante is also continued, which means at the end of a pada. So the meaning of the sutra is immediately before jhal or at the end of a pada, substitute ku, that is kavarga, that is ka kha ga gha nga, in place of chu, that is cha cha ja jha ya. And once again here we apply the principle of correspondence, where first member of one set is correlated to the first member of the second set. So chu has got 5 elements, ku has got 5 elements, chu is the substituent, ku is the substitute. So the first member in this list of chu corresponds to the first member of the list of ku. So in place of ch, ka will be the substitute. In place of ch, kha will be the substitute, and so on and so forth. So if we have these two stages, for example, chu plus jhal, if this is the condition, if this is the situation, then chokkuhu applies and substitutes this chu by ku. So chu plus jhal is the input, 8 to 30 chokkuhu applies and returns the output, namely ku plus jhal. Similarly, if chu appears at the end of the pada, this is the pada at the end of which chu appears, so 8 to 30 applies and substitutes this chu by ku. These are the two scenarios in which chokkuhu will apply and kutva sandhi will take place. Let us look at the examples, the specific ones. So first let us see, so chu plus jhal, and it is substituted by ku plus jhal. And here are the examples: pacha plus tavya, and cha is followed by ta, which is a jhal, and so chokkuhu applies and substitutes this cha by ka. So you get pak plus tavya, and then finally you get pak tavya. And the other example where cha appears at the end of a pada is this. So chu at the end of a pada, and that is replaced by ku at the end of a pada. So vach, this is the prathama ekavachana of the word vach, and this cha gets substituted by ka. So we get vak. There will be further processing. This ka will be further substituted by ga by the sutra jhalam jashonte, and then this ga will be further substituted optionally by ka by the sutra vavasane. So at the end we get two outputs, vak, vag. But as far as 8 to 30 is concerned, the first output of this vach is vak. As we said earlier, after we get the output, namely vag, by applying the sutra chokkuhu, then the next sutra jhalam jashonte applies and substitutes this ka by ga. So this is the jashtva sandhi. Let us study jashtva sandhi in brief. The sutra that describes jashtva sandhi is this, jhalam jashonte, 8 to 39. This sutra has got 3 padas, jhalam, which is 6/3 of jhal, that is all consonants minus consonant 5 and semi vowels. Jasho is 1/3 of jash, and jash means consonant 3 of the class jabagada. Ante means at the end, and padasya continues from the previous sutras. So padasya is 6/1 of pada. In this case it means part of pada. So the sutra means at the end of a pada, jash is substituted in place of jhal. So this can be shown in the form of an equation in this manner. So we have jhal at the end of a pada, and this jhal gets substituted by jash at the end of the pada. So for example, vak, ka is jhal which appears at the end of this pada, and so this ka is substituted by g at the end of the pada. So vag. So the prathama ekavachana of the word vach is vag, vak. And when in compounds, ka is substituted by g because it is at the end of the pada. So vagvivardhini, for example, has got g substituting ka stated by this particular sutra, jhalam jashonte. This is the jashtva sandhi. Then we have charatva sandhi stated by the sutra kharicha 8455, and kharicha has got two words, khari and cha. Khari is 7/1 of khar, and khar means consonant 1 and 2, and sh, sa. Cha means and. So jhalam is 6/3 of jhal, and we know that jhal means all consonants minus C5 and semivowels. Charaha is 1/3 of char, that is consonant 1 and sh, sa. So the sutra means immediately before khar, jhal is substituted by char. I repeat, immediately before khar, jhal is substituted by char. In place of jhal, substitute char. So this is the equation, jhal plus khar, this is the input, and the output generated is char plus khar. So the example is bhida plus tru, and this ta is khar. First this bhida becomes bheda plus tru, and then this da becomes ta, so bhet tru, and finally we get bhet tru as an example of this sutra khari cha. And then there is the other sutra that we were talking about, vavasane. This sutra has got two words, va and avasane. Va means optionally, and avasane, which is 7/1 of avasana. Avasana is absence of sounds. So immediately before the absence of sound, that is the meaning of avasane. Words continued are jhalam and char, charaha. So jhalam is 6/3 of jhal, which is all consonants minus consonant 5 and semivowels, and charaha is 1/3 of char, see consonant 1 and sh, sa. So vavasane means immediately before the absence of sounds, avasane, substitute jhal by char, jhalam charaha, optionally, that is va. So immediately before the absence of sounds, avasane, substitute jhal, jhalam by char, charaha, optionally va. So we have jhal and there is no other sound that comes immediately after it. So this jhal gets substituted by char. So here we have vag, g is the substitute affected by jhalam jashonte, and now vavasane applies and substitutes this g by k, and that is to optionally. So we have vak as one option and vag as the second option. So we have two forms over here, vak and vag. This is the prathama ekavachana of the word vach. This is how charatva sandhi can also be described. So we have studied the other sandhis, namely kutva sandhi, jashtva sandhi and chartva sandhi also. It is noted that these three rules belong to the asiddha section of the Ashtadhyayi. In fact, the rules describing the hal sandhi, most of them or almost all of them, they are all stated in the asiddha section of grammar, that is Ashtadhyayi 8.2 to 8.4. The peculiarity of this section is that the output of the sutras in this particular section does not become an input to any of the rules stated before. So from 1.1 up to 8.1. Within 8.2 to 8.4 also, the rules are arranged in such a way that the output input output cycle is well maintained and the derivation process keeps moving till reaching its culmination and no further output is to be produced. This is the speciality of the ordering of the sutras pertaining to hal sandhi. Very important feature. Now let us look at some of the examples of hal sandhi once again. These are all taken from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So first let us deal with the Shchutva sandhi. So first we have Pandavas and Cha. Mamakah Pandavas Chaiva. So Pandavas plus Cha and this Sa comes at the end of this pada followed by Cha. So then this Sa is substituted by Sh and so you get Pandavas Cha as the output generated after the application of the sutra Stoshchunaschuhu. Similarly, Matchitta Madgata Prana. So we have Mat plus Chittaha. And so this Ta, which comes immediately before Cha, is substituted by Cha and we get the output Mach Chittaha, that is Matchittaha. Yajñatva mokshase shubhat. So Yat plus Jnatva. So here there is Ta followed by J and so this Ta gets first of all substituted by Da and then this Da gets substituted by J. So finally you get Yajñatva as the output generated. Then we have Anuswara sandhi and here are the examples. So Dashtva tu Pandavanikam Vyudham Duryodhanastada. So let's take Anikam and Vyudham. So this Ma comes at the end of the pada followed by Va, which is a hal, and so Manuswaraha applies and substitutes this Ma by an Anuswara Anikam plus Vyudham. Similarly, Ahankaram Balandarpam Kamam Krodhancha Samshritaha. In this particular line of the verse taken from the 16th Adhyaya, here we have Ahankaram and Samshritaha. So this is Dvitiya Ekavachanam. So Ma is the ending and because this Ba follows, Ma becomes an Anuswara. Similarly, Balam and Darpam. So Balam Samshritaha. So there is this Ma over here which is followed by the, which is a consonant. So Manuswaraha applies and that sutra substitutes this Ma by an Anuswara. Similarly, Darpam. Darpam is also Samshritaha. So this is Ma at the end followed by Ka, which is a consonant. So this Ma gets substituted by an Anuswara over here. So we have Darpam and Kamam. Similarly, Kamam and Samshritaha, and so there is this Ma at the end and Kamam is followed by Krodham, that is Ka at the beginning. So therefore this Ma at the end of the pada followed by a consonant is substituted by an Anuswara, so Kamam. Similarly, Krodham Samshritaha. So this is ma at the end followed by ch. So this ma is substituted by an anuswara. So we get krodham cha samshritaha. So many anuswaras. Although the Parasavarna is not done in the Bhagavad Gita, those who recite Srimad Bhagavad Gita tend to pronounce this anuswara as a Parasavarna by making the optional Parasavarna sandhi. And so they say ahankaram valan darpang kamang krodhaincha samshritaha. So this anuswara is optionally pronounced as ma, which is Parasavarna of this ba. This anuswara is pronounced as na, which is a savarna of this da. This anuswara is pronounced as nga, which is a savarna of ka. This anuswara is pronounced as nga once again, which is the savarna of this ka. This anuswara is pronounced as nya, which is the savarna of this cha. This is how anuswara and parasavarna sandhi are demonstrated, are used in the actual usage. Then we have Chattva Sandhi, and here are the examples from Srimad Bhagavad Gita. There are many more. First, Tat Shrutva Vachanam. So Tat followed by Shrutva. So the first thing is this Ta is substituted by Ch. So we have Tach plus Shrutva. So this is the Shtutva Sandhi, followed by the Chattva Sandhi, where this Sh is substituted by Ch, and so we have Shrutva, and then we join them together and we get Tachrutva. The sutra Shashchoti applies over here. Similarly, Yat plus Shraddha. Yo Yat Shraddhas sa eva saha. So Yat followed by Shraddha. So Ta first of all gets substituted by Ch by the sutras Toshchunaschuhu, and then this Sh at the beginning of Shra is substituted by Ch, and so we get Yach Shraddha. So Yach Shraddha, this is the output that is generated. And similarly, Vyasa Prasadat Shrutavan and Yachreyasya Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme, etc. There are several examples of this kind of sandhi, that is Chattva Sandhi. Then there are examples of Sattva Anuswara Sandhi. For example, Vishayans Tyaktva. So we have Vishayan and Tyaktva. So this na comes at the end of the pada, followed by this ta. And so this na, Naschavya Prashan. So this ta is substituted by ra, and then this ra is preceded by an anuswara. Then this ra is substituted by a visarga. This visarga then is substituted by sa, and so we have Vishayans and Tyaktva, and finally Vishayans Tyaktva. So there is this sa as well as anuswara. So Sattva plus anuswara both substitute this na, and we get Vishayans Tyaktva. And similarly, Prajnavadanscha Bhashase or Hatvartha Kamanstu Guru Nihaiva and so on. In all this, we do encounter the Sattvanuswara Sandhi. To summarize, we took a recap of the types of Hal Sandhi, that is consonant Sandhi. We noted down some more miscellaneous instances of Hal Sandhi, and we also studied the order of rules describing Hal Sandhi, arranged in this particular grammar of Panini called Ashtadhyayi, and we noted that the output of the sutras describing Hal Sandhi does not become an input for any further operation. And finally, we also noted down some examples of some types. Now we study the Visarga Sandhi from the next lecture onwards. Thank you for your patience.